I recently taught a workshop about stepping out of anxiety and back into your power. And one of the women that was here reacted very strongly. When we connected to the source of the reaction, she connected with a memory that she refused to tap on. She refused to work on it. She told me, I've already worked so much on that. I am not willing to do it again. I want to do something else. And she was in very, very, very strong resistance. So the first thing I want to tell you is the body doesn't lie. If the body is still connecting you, we have ways with clinical tapping to connect you with the source, the origin of your emotional reaction and the upset or the disturbance that you're experiencing and the anxiety. And the body doesn't lie. When you are presented with a memory, an image, maybe something you hear, maybe something, an event, you are connecting with something that is at the source of your emotional reaction. And you may have worked on it many times, but healing is very often made in layers. We remove layers until we have removed enough layers for the healing to take place. It's like a table where you have several legs and you kick one leg down, you worked on one leg, then on two legs, then on three legs, and soon enough the table is crumbling down. That's what was happening with that woman. There were still legs to be worked on, to have to work on. This is a form of resistance that is a little bit different, but something that I experienced in the past when I was newer on working on myself and going to workshops and really learning the most that I could learn. I experienced sometimes scenarios where I was getting so mad sitting on my chair listening to the presenter or the teacher because what they were talking about I knew already. So I did not want to have to listen to that again. But as you know, life has a wisdom and we are longing to heal. It may be sometimes unconscious and we are attracted, we are matching, we are energy beings. So on the energy elevator, we stop at that floor. We must develop some trust and know that wherever we stopped and whatever we were attracted on to, that is where we are right now. And it's just a calling to heal. It's just a new lesson or a new shift that we have to accomplish. So since that woman was reacting so strongly, I used her to show the group and to work all together with the benefits of tapping, even when someone is tapping with me and the audience is tapping at the same time on her problem, there are still benefits to be received by the audience. And we addressed the resistance because with tapping, we start where we are. We start with the truth of what we feel, the truth of what we believe, the truth of who we are in this moment. And that's what we're going to do today. So if you too have worked on a problem or an issue or a memory, and you still find yourself reacting and maybe experiencing anxiety or experiencing stress or fear or whatever it is that you're experiencing, and when you really connect to the source, the origin of that fear, that memory is still coming and there are still triggers, and you're annoyed and you're frustrated and you're angry, that's what we're going to tap on today. So I'm going to ask you, first of all, as usual, to connect to your body, to go within, because that's where the answers are and that's where the starting point is. So connect to your body. Think about the fact that you still have to work on that problem or that matter or that event for the sake of today's session, we're gonna call it that matter. And you can call it whatever you want. If you refer to it, in fact, the more precise you are, the better it is. And see how you react. What do you feel in your body? Where do you feel it? And what is the intensity of your emotional response? Maybe anger, frustration, fear, annoyance. Where are you on a scale of 0 to 10? 0, I don't feel. 10, it's overwhelming. Where do you fall? And I'm gonna just assume that you could connect with all that, and we're gonna do a short tapping. Even though I feel so much frustration in my body, and if you feel it in the pit of your stomach, say the pit of my stomach, in my chest, in my neck, wherever it feels for you, because I don't want to have to tap on that problem. I've already tapped on it and I want to be done with that. I choose to accept where I am right now and to accept myself completely. And I'm giving myself permission to relax. Even though I have this sensation in my stomach, because I don't want to have to work on that again, and it makes me mad, I completely accept where I am, and I accept who I am right now with this problem, and I give permission to my body to relax. Even though I'm extremely unhappy and angry that I have to work with that problem again, I choose to love and accept myself completely. And I'm giving myself permission to feel, process, and release. I don't want to have to tap on that again. I've already done so much work on that issue. It makes me so angry. I don't want to have to work with that. All that resistance in my body. All this sensation in my stomach. All this anger and frustration. I don't want to have to tap or work on that again. I don't care if it is a call for healing. That's not what I want to do. All this anger and frustration in my body. All this resistance to work on that again. All this sensation in my body. All this strong emotion. I wonder if I could let some go. I'm not sure I can, because I don't want to have to work on that again. But what if it could help me? What if it was safe to let go of this resistance? What if it was safe to let go of this sensation? I now choose to let go of some resistance. I now let go of some of the intensity of the sensation. It's safe to let go of all that. So I can progress towards full healing. I know that resistance doesn't help me. I know it is somehow resistance to change. I'm giving myself permission to change. I give permission to my body to relax, letting go of the resistance. Now imagine that you see, feel, or hear this resistance and this sensation leaving your body. I choose to dissolve the sensation and the resistance. I choose to dissolve and release these emotions. And I choose to open to healing. I am open and willing to heal. I am open and willing to change. I am open to the guidance and wisdom of my body. Releasing, freeing, and opening. Getting ready for more healing. Loving myself. I give myself permission to heal. I give myself permission to love myself. I give myself permission to change and heal. And I step back into my own power. Put your hands on your heart. Have real, strong, beautiful compassion for yourself. I am on my side. I am there for myself. Now go back to the fact that you have again to work on that matter or that issue and see where you are as far as your emotional reaction from 0 to 10. And if you feel any sensation from 0 to 10. If you are where you want to be and you feel that you can now start working with that matter and removing another layer and adding another layer of healing, you can do so. And if not, if you still feel a strong resistance, you can go back to the beginning and redo the tapping. And I just want to add that some days the resistance will be lower and we will have released a lot of resistance. And maybe another day it's going to show up again because there is another trigger that you didn't address. So if that happens again, come back to this video and first of all, dissolve the resistance so that you're free to work on healing the past. I'm sending you a ton of love. It's not easy to work on all that, but the good news is we can heal layer by layer, like an artichoke, leaf by leaf, until we get to the delicious heart. And I'm here for any questions, comments. Let us know about your experience below. I always love interacting with you, and I will see you next time with another video.